Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. My name is Nazimuddin Siddiq. I am a researcher, writer, and I am going to make this video on Satyagraha. I'm sure that you have heard a lot about Satyagraha during Indian national movement. So that Satyagraha I'm talking about was led by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in 1927. It is called Mahad Satyagraha. So the idea of this video came from an article written by Sanjay Hegde, who is a judge, who is a lawyer at the Supreme Court of India. What happened is Dr. Ambedkar, when he was a child, he went to school like many children of this country and beyond. But the problem is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was from Mahad caste, a Dalit, and you know that Indian society, especially the Hindu society, is divided by the caste system. So Brahmin, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So this, four divisions are there, and then the lower caste people have faced a lot of discrimination in Indian society. So Ambedkar was a Dalit, and he went to school where he was not allowed to drink water directly from the utensil where waters are kept. So, for example, today you see the children, they go to school and they carry water bottles and all. Those time, in this time, when Ambedkar was a child, in those time, the system of water bottle was not there. These are very recent phenomena: carrying water bottle, buying water bottle, all this thing. What was the arrangement? Arrangement was that if a Dalit child wants to drink water, then the peon of the school will pour the water from above, and the Dalit child will drink the water from a distance, on his hand, using his hand. So this was the kind of arrangement. And you know that people do not come to school regularly, the peons, the teachers, even today. So if the peon does not come to the school, then the children who are Dalits go thirsty. And imagine they are not in the middle of a desert, they are not in the middle of any place where there is no water. The water was there in the school, and they were not allowed to drink the water from there directly. So this was the kind of thing. Ambedkar later on, he studies well and he goes to Columbia University, he studies there, and then he studies at London School of Economics also. Then he comes back to India. He writes a book called Waiting for a Visa, and in that book there is a chapter called No Peon, No Water. You can read that chapter if you want, and it is very interesting. And so Ambedkar writes about his own story, how difficulty he faced during his childhood, because he come from this Mahad caste, a lower caste, and also for Dalits. Dalits were not allowed to drink water from public water tanks, public wells, which are located in public spaces. So this was a very serious problem, that during summer, when people traveled, they used to drink water from these water tanks. And but if you are Dalit, then you will not be allowed to drink water from such public tanks. And mind you that the water bottle we can buy on the roadside today, these water bottles were not available during that time. These are very recent phenomena, like the water bottles of children who carry them to the school. So to protest this, Ambedkar started this Satyagraha in 1927. The date was March 20. So there is a pond water tank called Chavdar Talab. It is in a small town called Mahad, in the Raigad district of Maharashtra. So he went there with children, with women and with men, and after reaching there he bent and he drank water from the water tank. So this was a kind of resistance he showed to the society, to the upper caste society, and all the people who accompanied him also drank water from there. So of course you know that when you break a societal norms, of course this norm was instituted by the upper caste, by the powerful people, and it always happens. The powerful people only decides, imposes rules, imposes norms. So when you break a norms, what they do is they come up with violence. So this happened with this group who went with Ambedkar also. A lot of rumors spread that they are trying to enter into temples. As you know, that Dalits were not allowed to enter into temple, though they are Hindu. And this is continuing. Even now in many places, you often get to hear the news that Dalits are not allowed to enter into the temples. So, anyways, this was the Mahad Satyagraha in 1927 December. So this Mahad Satyagraha of drinking water from public tank happened in March month. Now in December, Ambedkar goes to that town again, and this time he burns a copy of Manusmriti. Manusmriti is a very controversial text, which are followed by many upper caste people in Hindu religion. And so Manusmriti is controversial in the sense that it talks about women oppression. It advocates women oppression, advocates oppression against Dalits, and that is why Ambedkar did not like it, and he burned as an act of resistance. And this burning was significant, as Sanjay Hegde says. He says that the burning was significant in the sense that Ambedkar tried to give a message: the future Republic of India will be based on individual rights and not based on oppression and inequality. So, as you know, that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar later on becomes the main architect who wrote this Constitution of India. Constitution of India talks about significant equality. For example, Article 14 says that there cannot be any discrimination based on gender, caste, religion, and all this color. So we have a very egalitarian constitution now, which tries to spread egalitarian values. These are not translated into society even today in many places. That is a different thing. But the constitution was written in that spirit. Then Ambedkar, fights a case. Upper caste people goes and fights a case in the court, and Ambedkar also fights this case, and it takes almost 10 years. From 1927 to 1937, the case travels from local court to Bombay High Court, and Bombay High Court finally gives a verdict in 1937 that this tank belongs to municipality and it is a public property, and it's not a private property, so everybody should be allowed to drink water irrespective of their caste and religion. So there was a case. So this was a very significant satyagraha. Sanjay Hegde also mentions about the satyagraha of Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nation. So he mentions about this Dandi Yatra, Salt Satyagraha, popularly known as Salt Satyagraha or Dandi Satyagraha. So where Gandhi led this satyagraha, protesting the imposition of higher salt tax by the Britishers. Gandhi also took up this satyagraha, and Ambedkar also took up a satyagraha. But the difference between the two is Gandhi fought against an external aggressor, the Britishers, the colonial forces who come from outside and ruled and oppressed Indian society, Indian people. And Ambedkar fights against the internal sickness. Of course, our society has many sickness. Our society has been suffering with the problem of inequality. We try to negate the people who are marginalized, who are women, who are elites. So Ambedkar fought against this internal sickness. So this was a very significant movement in Indian history, the Mahad Satyagraha, and you can read more about Ambedkar, and you can let me know through comments what do you think about this Satyagraha, and do share with your friends if you like the video, and do subscribe the channel for more. Thank you very much for watching.